China now saying that they will look to impose tariffs on some U.S. goods as well. What else do we know about the China response to the U.S. tariffs?
Yes, again, going exactly by the playbook like clockwork. At 1 p.m., seconds after that, China released its slew of countermeasures, pretty extensive this time round compared to the previous round in February. They're targeting up to 15% tariffs on a list of U.S. goods. I'm just going to go through them very quickly. 10% on pork, beef, soybean, sorghum, fruits, vegetables, and dairy products. The one on soybean, of course, had been highly anticipated. And 15% tariffs on wheat, cotton, chicken, and corn. So all of these are agricultural commodities. I would say that they are largely still less than proportional to the scale of the U.S. tariffs, because we're talking about 10 to 15% tariffs from China versus 20% from Trump if you count in the first 10% plus the second round of 10%. And you look at the scale of it, the range of the goods covered. U.S. tariffs cover all Chinese goods, but the Chinese tariffs are targeting specific sectors, mainly the agricultural sector. So it's a clear message here. While it's impactful, but China is signaling that they are open to negotiation. That was as much what the NPC spokesperson said at the presser earlier, that they're hoping that they can resolve these trade issues through consultations. Now, aside from tariffs, China also targeted other non-tariff measures, including adding 10 firms to a U.S. unreliable entity list, as well as prohibiting the sale of dual-use items to 15 U.S. entities. And of course, one of their favorite methods, which is to file a complaint to the WTO as well. But again, very clear signal that from the NPC spokesperson that they believe that bilateral trade is win-win for both sides, and they want to resolve this through negotiations.
Yeah, thanks for bringing the additional analysis to us, because we were trying to wrap our heads around the reaction in Asian markets today and the fact that a lot of these Asian indices have actually bounced back. A case of buy the rumor, sell the fact, and perhaps because the response was not as powerful as some people thought it was going to be. Just quickly, Min, how does this set us up for the NPC in the coming days?
Well, the NPC, I mean, of course, tomorrow is the government work report by Li Qiang that we are paying attention to, where he will outline the key economic targets for the year. We talked about that yesterday, the growth target, inflation target, and the stimulus measures. But again, as I mentioned, tariffs, the countermeasures has already been announced. What's next now is the negotiations, the back-channel communications, and that high-level talk that hasn't really happened. We're waiting to see how that would change the calculus when it comes to trade. But China is really focused on building the resilience of its domestic economy to boost domestic consumption to counter the risk of tariffs.